she collapsed. That lady over there told us she was stabbed, but we couldn't get any more details, nor could we find any entry wound.
Ma'am, why did you say this woman was stabbed?
It's a demonic attack. The enemy has thrust a fiery dart into the soul of my sister. She was operating in the gifts of healing like never before. The Spirit of God was so thick. We watched a child's leg grow, a woman throwing her crutches away and started running down the hall. She laid hands on a man born blind. The man runs out into the street dodging cars just for fun because he can see for the first time. And suddenly some neighbor gangbangers busted through the door with a dead body on one of their homeboys. The devil knew what was happening. He knew what the power of God was about to do. He knew, God, he knew.
Ma'am, you have to come with me to the waiting room. They'll take good care of her.
Lord God Almighty, whether this suffering is because of someone else's sin, your sovereignty, or lack of faith, we're going to serve you anyway. What right do we have to question your grace? Satan is not in control. You are. You are.
Dr. Stokes? Dr. Stokes, X-ray?
Yes. Yeah, X-ray. Get X-ray here right away.
No, doctor. X-ray is here. What do you want them to do?
A full body scan.
I got this.
Leon, what do you say we go have a cup of coffee? My treat.
As long as you don't try to tell me about some guy who walked on water. Now, you know I'll help you with any professional advice you need, but I got plenty to do other than try and be convinced that there's somebody...
That's not it at all. It's just that you seem distracted lately. Something's on your mind, and it's affecting your work. I want to help.
You're not going to throw down your cane and make it turn into a serpent, are you?
Actually, I think I'm the one that needs to talk. I lost a friend this afternoon. We've been talking for a while. He was killed today, right out in front of the hospital. He once told me he felt something like you do, about the man who walked on water.
Now you promised you wouldn't talk about it. You promised you...
I only said I wanted to help.
And a big percentage of my patients come to me because of what the church has done to them. In a lot of cases, the church is justified, but the church isn't perfect.
I know I've tried everything I could do to be a decent human being, let alone a good Christian in God's eyes. Working in the church is the only thing that ever meant anything to me. I look out my window in the mornings and I see people laughing and having fun, and I say, don't they know the pain I feel? But that ain't right. That ain't right for me to be so negative about life just because someone else is happy. It ain't right.
You're absolutely right. But the main thing to know is that it is imperative that you stay focused on the Lord under all circumstances. There are several reasons why you feel this way, Mr. Cranes. First of all, know this, that if you're in faith, there is a reason for your suffering. Satan is not in control, and if you yield to his voice, you will be defeated. I'm going to prescribe you something.
What, once a day? For 21 days?
That's right. Fast for 21 days. You see, Mr. Cranes, this is spiritual warfare, and the only weapon you have is to get closer to God for the answer you seek. Hold your ground. Don't run from your suffering. Get closer to God.
But they sat me down, Doctor. Why pray now?
Because it's in the midst of your troubles that you need to stay focused and believe God for the victory. No matter what the situation looks like, this is the real test, my brother. The fun part. When you see light at the end of this tunnel, you'll look back and know the reason for your suffering. Now what are you prepared to do?
I'm going to sit down. I'm going to use this time to utilize this here prescription. And I'm going to sit in that congregation and learn what it is to be shown, rather than show other people where to sit. I'm going to hear the word for the first time in 20 years.
Hey, I'm scared of you. Just remember, you're not alone. There are more people praying and believing for you than you know.
I guess I just wasn't thinking.
Sometimes it's hard to see your own reflection in the mirror when the enemy turns up the steam.
How can I ever thank you enough, Doctor?
By bringing me the victory reports every day. Mr. I don't see a name. Mr. Injury to the arm?
Dr. Evans, I believe they're just finishing with him. He'll be
Now,
right.
did I ask you to take the thorn out of my flesh? No. Now I got to go find me a new thorn.
Let me guess. Your name is Paul. And you have a thorn in your flesh.
I had a thorn, but they yanked it out. Why, you must be a prophesitist woman.
I foresee you suffer for the cause of Christ.
Wow! Great woman of God. Listen, you know, last week I found a half a can of baked beans just sitting by the dumpster with my name on it. It was a sign from God. Listen, now, can you prophesy me some salt pork to go with it?
So you see, Leon, God touches the hearts of those he calls. And you are called to help those who suffer. You're affected by the suffering of people because you're sensitive to the calling of God. The man who walked on water suffered so you wouldn't have to. Give him a chance, Leon. Give him a chance to show you his image through your life.
Code Blue, Dr. Stokes. Cardiac team report to ER. Code Blue, Dr. Stokes. Cardiac team.
Can I be of
Code Blue.
assistance?
I would appreciate it. Thank you. What have we got, Jesse?
It's the pastor. He's in full arrest.
Not now.
Okay. I need everybody out now. Out now, please.
Come on, folks. This way. Let the doctors do their job.
Give me an update on vitals. Start an IV, Ringer's lactate. Charge the paddles. Give me some pads. Charge the 400 joules. Grease me. Clear. Okay, give me 500 joules now. Clear. Again.
You can't do that. You'll puncture his heart for sure.
Leon, I'll talk to the family.
You see this every day, but this
I
time...
don't get it. You people.
People?
You Christians. I mean, how do you take a physical life and turn it into some sort of spiritual carnival with all different shapes and sizes gathering in the same center ring Sunday after Sunday? Listening to some ringmaster teaching you about a God who watches you perform. I mean, you give your whole life to him. You read a book on how to change so others think you've got it made. Everything is all hunky-dory. Then he squashes you, and you go back to the tent and wait for the next show. But time and time again, you come back. You just keep trying to please him. Even though you can't see him, you can't touch him. I mean, you don't even know if he's real. And how could that ringmaster let this happen? Something like this. Now who's going to take his place? I've seen a lot of his kind. But this time, what he believed in was real.